Welcome back to the Jacked Racing YouTube channel. Welcome back to the shop. Welcome to the inside of the race car. We are doing some work today to get ready for the charity race at Auburndale Speedway this weekend. I got lucky and got some time off of work today to come up and take care of this. Ooh, you guys are seeing some dirtiness there. I just realized that. There, didn't make me look any better. Gosh darn it. But yeah, we're getting some work done on the truck today. We just did some work on the brake. We got some brake gauges here that we're putting in, so we just bled the brakes. And the new rear end did make it. That third member is here. It's in the truck. I'll show you some stuff about that here in a minute. But we're about to get that thing broken in. There's a kind of a little bit of a lengthy break-in process, and we're going to try and do it as correctly as possible to make sure that that gear lasts as long as we want it to. And hopefully this is going to help us get that little bit of extra speed we need to keep up and make some more passes this weekend. We are so close to running with the main pack last time at Auburndale. We did pass some cars, but we want to pass a few more next time. So we're going to get the gear in, get it broken in. I'll show you that process, and I'll show you what we're working with, and we'll see what we can do to pick up some speed this week.
One of the things we'd like to do more of at Jacked Racing is to provide some interesting tech features. We'll start one today. As you know, we run a couple different tracks, quarter mile and half mile. And as a result, we need to frequently change the gear in the rear end, often referred to as the chunk or the pumpkin. That's what it looks like there. We have a Ford 9-inch rear end, and so we change that gear regularly. One of the things we've done is concocted a fixture that we can use to raise and lower that heavy gear. And that fixture attaches to a very simple Harbor Freight jack. So we'll talk a little bit about how we did that. So this fixture is made out of just some leftover scrap iron that we had. And what you can see is we've drilled holes so that it mates up with the mounting pad on the jack. Here's the fixture now attached to the jack, and I have a simple hex drive that I use with the appropriately placed holes to tighten down the screw that holds that in place. And now it's still allowed to swivel, but it's attached to the jack. Here's the chunk on the fixture on the jack now. You can see it holds it nicely in place. And then I can start to raise it up and position it exactly where I want it to make it easier to slide onto the rear end housing. And there we go. The chunk or third member is installed, drive shaft hooked up. Honestly, it took me less than 5 minutes with the jack and the fixture to get the chunk in place, and took longer to just get the bolts in. So I'm 63 years old. I did this by myself in a very short period of time. So hope this is useful to other people. Obviously, fixture needs to have good welds, need to make sure it's properly balanced and that it's affixed to the jack properly. Use it at your own risk, but if it'll help you, feel free to use it.
And just pop her into gear. Do you want to get a fan or something to put in front of the radiator?
I don't know that I have one.
You don't have a box? I thought you had a box fan somewhere.
I thought so too, but it's kind of disappeared.
Break-in process we just did is what the manufacturer told us to do. Basically, we put the car up in the air, all the way in the air. We ran it for 15 minutes at idle speed in high gear, so I raced in third gear. So we put it up in the air, ran it in third gear for a little while, and just let that third member heat up to its temperature. And now we're letting it cool down. So basically what we're going to have to do next time we go to the track, which should be Friday, we have a practice night, so we're going to try and get this thing finished, broken in, and then finish getting this thing broken in. That's a little more better English. And then we're going to try and run some laps to see if it's really going to make a difference. I think it is. I think this is going to be what we need for right now. So we've got it broken in. It seemed to be okay, so now what we're doing is making some suspension adjustments. We did some measurements on the rear end. We're making some suspension adjustments on the front, and then we're going to get it up in the air on the scales and see if that changed the weight at all. We think that's a heavier third member than what we used to have, so hopefully that's going to help get us a little rear weight. It's just a heavier duty piece, which is good for a lot of reasons. Maybe rear weight will be one of them. So we're going to get it up in the air, get on the scales, and see what we're working with. We do have some good news for our home big track here out in New Smyrna. They got their test results back. They've been doing some testing after all the damage from the hurricanes that came through. And luckily, we are good to go for their Red Eye event in January, which we unfortunately are not racing at. But we're good to go for World Series. We got 2 nights that we're going to be racing at the World Series. I believe it's number 8 and 9. Usually that's streamed somewhere. I'm not sure which streaming service is going to be covering that this year, but you should be able to watch those on one of your favorite racing streaming services. And yeah, we can't wait to get back out on the big track. You guys know, if you watch this channel, we love racing on the big track. And now that we've got so many issues on the truck figured out, I'm very excited to get back out there. I think we're going to be a lot more competitive, and we're going to be doing a lot of good things there next year. We did, if you didn't see, we did get 5th in points there this year, which for our rookie year and all the ups and downs that we had, not so bad. So definitely happy about that, but I'm just happy the track is mostly okay, and we're going to be able to race there again in the somewhat near future. But for right now, we're just getting ready. If you don't know, this weekend coming up is the charity race at Auburndale Speedway. It's going to be 2 50-lap features for us. It's twin 50s, which my body is not looking forward to. I'm going to be cooked after those. I was already a little bit sore after that last 50-lapper, so I'm ready. I'm going to have the Tylenol on standby if I need it. But it's going to be a good time. I'm excited to get out there now that we're getting all these little things figured out and we're racing competitively there. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's a good event, supports a good cause, and we get to do a lot of racing. So definitely make sure you subscribe and don't miss out on those racing videos. We'll be there Friday night for practice and then Saturday for the twin features. And just like that, the truck is pretty much ready to go, at least for our Friday night practice to get that gear broken in. We've got the setup where we want it. It wasn't very far off last time, but there's just a couple of little tweaks we can do. You know, it's never quite perfect with one of these race cars. But yeah, make sure you stick around and catch all the action. It's going to be an action-packed weekend no matter what. There's going to be lots of races, lots of craziness. This is always a rowdy race every year. So I'm looking forward to being in the mix with it this year. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you at the track this weekend. And just like that, the truck is pretty much ready to go, at least for our Friday night practice to get that gear broken in. We've got the setup where we want it. It wasn't very far off last time, but there's just a couple of little tweaks we can do. You know, it's never quite perfect with one of these race cars. But yeah, make sure you stick around and catch all the action. It's going to be an action-packed weekend no matter what. There's going to be lots of races, lots of craziness. This is always a rowdy race every year. So I'm looking forward to being in the mix with it this year. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you at the track this weekend.